Well, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for the Secret of the Benevolent Shadow, Part 2. And today we're going to have a very exciting session. It's going to take one step forward, and we're going to deal in depth when it comes to the shadow, the concept of the shadow, the politics behind the shadow, and what actually the shadow is, and what's the shadow purpose in our life. A little about myself. My name is Ravital Hassan-Nahum. I'm an energy reader and a coach. I'm running the 30-day group according to the 30-day process of Abraham Hicks. We have those sessions twice a week, and what we do, we expand our awareness and our ability to grow. Okay, now today's session is going to be quite interesting. I'm going to run kind of questions. We're going to have several questions. You can do it with us. It's better for you to grab a pen and a paper and follow us. And if you need to take a break with the video, take the break, because sometimes I'm running really fast. If you find it that you don't have enough patience to run with me, you can move the video forward just to the end and and get to the punchline. Okay, I think it's really important to run the process because it's like a flower. You want to open it up and you want to grow into it, and you want things to make sense to you and not just shoot it and go. Shoot it and go. You can do this with many other events. This one, I definitely recommend you to be patient and to enjoy it with us. Okay, so here it is. We're going to start. We actually did start it already. Okay, with the secret of the benevolent shadow. And why do I say benevolent? Because nothing in our reality, nothing is not there to work against us. Everything in our reality, everything in our experience is there for the purpose of our growth and expansion. And the shadow is definitely one of them. And as more as we understand that the shadow is actually there for us, okay, we can actually communicate better. And if you think about it, do you communicate better with someone that you feel that is for your benefit, or you communicate better with someone that you feel is your enemy and works against you? So how are you going to communicate better? Okay, so if you have a positive attitude and positive idea and concept towards someone or something, okay, your communication chances, or good communication chances, are going to be much, much, much better. Okay, so here we go. And my question is, why a shadow? Okay, what's the idea? Why do we have a shadow? Or why shadow in general? Okay, and if you can ponder about it for a second, okay, what's the purpose of a shadow? Where does shadow come from? How is it that we have shadow in our reality? Okay, we tend to take things for granted. Okay, Petra is jumping with duality, and you're right. Yes, the shadow is part of the duality. It's part of the law of duality. Now, this is a very interesting concept. We all have a shadow. It's not only that the moon has a shadow. Okay, we have a shadow. We have a shadow. All of us, okay? Did you ever see kids when they first time discover their shadow? It could be really interesting and hilarious. Okay? So just think about it. How is it that all of us have a shadow? If all of us have a shadow, it's like all of us have heart, all of us have eyes. It's like the shadow become like part of us. Okay, and as it's part of us, it's probably, even though it's external, okay, it's part of our reality, it's part of our experience. So as the shadow being part of our experience, okay, now we really want to take a better look at it. Okay. Now just think about it. Okay, while you're using a webcam, this is something very funny. You remember that when somebody comes to visit you and you didn't organize you didn't organize your room. How does it happen? You immediately shove everything out to the corners, to the place that nobody can see. Okay, and now the new visionary or the new eye is the webcam. So just now you can see how it looks like. And my question is, where are the lights here? Okay. Okay. Now, when I was looking for definition, when I was looking for a definition for a shadow, okay, in the dictionaries, okay, I found that actually comparing with other definitions, they were very, very short. Okay, there was much less descriptions than in other definitions that I was looking for. And it's a dark area or shape produced by a body coming between. Andrea, you want to put yourself on mute? Ah. By a body coming between. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. Okay, a dark area or space. Andrea, put yourself on mute. Awesome. Okay. Andrea, we are going to cut this. Okay, put yourself on mute. Awesome. Okay. It's a dark area or shape produced by a body coming between rays of light and a surface of light and a surface. Okay? So actually what they say, here in this definition, they're repeating the surface twice. Okay? First of all, they're repeating the surface of light and then a surface of a body. Okay? So actually, in this definition, the light is a body by itself. Okay? And the shadow at creating another surface. Okay? So let's move on. Now I want you to start really working, and I want you to throw out of your sleeves as many of the associations you can come up with for the word shadow. Okay? I'm looking for at least one, at least 5. Okay? And I would like you to throw them into the text box so I can pick it up from there. Just shoot it off your sleeves, okay? I don't want you to think too much. Once you think too much, it's like staying away from your intuition. I want you to be extremely associative. Okay, so let's say hiding, fear, dark night, other self. Awesome. When I hear people and teachers talking about the shadow, sometimes I have the feeling that it's just create more of what is unwanted. I'm waiting for more. Any more? Carol, contrast dark sometimes hidden, little scary. Ooh, we're getting into the ooh. Okay. Andrea say dark. Petra say fear, to do, inside, present, gift, light, curious. Okay. And Muhammad didn't turn off the light, turn on the light, he's in the dark. Okay. So now what I wanted to do, I wanted to break the word into its root, shade. And now I want you to give me 5 words associated with shade. Okay? Five words that you can associate with the word shade. Carol say cooling, relief, bit sneaky. This is what you were looking on the beach. Little shade when you enjoy the sun. Every time. Oh. And Pedro is going into a cocktail, beach, hammock, sweetie, Spain. Okay. And does that say cool, shelter, color, protect? That's nice. Yeah. So when we think about shade, okay, when we think about shade, we think about things that are wanted for us, the thing that actually protects us. Okay, the thing, yeah, shelter and protection, Muhammad is saying. Okay, so the shade for us is a shelter of protection. Okay, so what happened is that instead of understanding that we have a shelter of protection, we went to the other side of it. Okay, and we just put some O in it, okay? Now, once we muted the O, okay, the shade become quite handy, okay? So once we decided to get rid or to mute the O, you know, all of a sudden, you know, the shadow became something else. It became something which is friendly, which is wanted, which is helpful, which is protective. You see, it's a very little twist over there. And how this twist sounds like in English? Oh, okay. So I like it when things turn like this. For me, it's a cute game. Okay. Now this is another one. I want you to name 5 things, okay, that you're doing with a shade. Okay, I know that this question sounds a little funny. Okay, what are you doing with a shade? Okay, but really, how do you use shade in your life? Where do you find the shade useful? I know that I come from the world of architecture and building structures, so the shade was extremely useful for me. Okay, in the world of art, we are using shades crazy. Okay, Josette said it's a cover-up. Oh, and Muhammad said that he used the shade in a warm, sunny day. Okay. And Carol said that she's using the shade for chilling, relief, cool, definition. Actually, if we think about shade, okay, this is something that we're using in our practical practice. It's not something that we think too much about. Okay, in the world of art, in the world of creation, the shade is extremely used.
Yeah, बैठ के पीछे खाई जाए. would be convenient. You too.
Okay. So in our day-to-day life, we actually use the shade as a practice. Okay, we don't ponder about it, as part of our philosophy. Okay, it's something that we are using without giving too much thought to it. It's something that we are instantly utilizing. The nature of a shadow is that it's only a reflection of something that is already exists. Okay, now think about it. Isn't that kind of good news? There's no new creation over there. It's just a reflection that something that is already there. Okay, and if you think about it, if you see a shadow, all of a sudden you definitely understand that there's something over there, right? So the shadow can be a very good indication to something that is there. Otherwise, the shadow wouldn't exist. Okay, the shadow for us is a very strong indication that there is some kind of a physical object over there. Okay, and sometimes you notice the shadow before you notice the body. Okay, so the idea of tracking shadow can be something really comforting once you think that actually it's just a reflection of something which is already there. There's nothing more to it. It's already there. Okay? Now, let's move on a little. If we think about it, things in the shadow are the things we are not ready to bring out and deal with in the open. The shadow is our storage. The shadow is our guardian, keeping us away from all the things we are not ready to deal with in our life. Okay? Now, once we're taking a blind judgment for or against, we are cutting short a whole array of potentials and creative tools. Okay? And I wanted to think about it for a second. Okay? I wanted to think about it for a second. If you're able to, now that we have discussed this for a little, okay, if you're able to look at the shadow, okay, from a non-judgmental eye, okay, how does it look to you? Were you able to come with any kind of a new awareness? Could Josette say that she feels that it's a protector, something that warns her? Part of experience, Petra is saying. And Carol say booster, leave things in shadow to get a breather. Awesome. So actually what Carol is saying that the shadow is actually giving you a break, okay? It's giving you a space, okay, in which you can actually take your breath and prepare yourself and reorganize. And Josette say it's a kind of a step back. Okay, so think about it. If a shade wouldn't work for us, would it be there in every step we take? Okay. One of the things that I would like to bring here into this discussion is I want us to identify the shadow as part of us, okay, as part of our physical appearance, okay. Okay. Even you're going to stand in a position of 360 degree, okay, of light, okay, every movement you're going to take, okay, is going to create shade, okay, everywhere. Okay, there is no way to skip it. Once we are in dialogue with light, okay, as a physical body, okay, automatically we're going to create a shade. At least in our physical reality. If we go to space, I guess we won't. Why? Because we're completely surrounded by light. There's no way for the shade to reflect itself. Why? Because the shade is a reflection. Okay, so in our physical reality, it's going to have a reflection all the time. Okay, whether we are aware of it or we're not. Okay, once we start to look at things in an innocent eye, a whole new world of potential is shining through. Okay, and we saw this once and once again, you know, and again, that once we take the judgment, once we start looking at things, you know, in an innocent eye, and what it means in an innocent eye, okay, it's really important because many times I hear people quoting a sentence from the Bible that said that if you go to the kingdom of heaven like a kid, like a child, and what does it mean you go like a child? It means that you're dropping your judgment. You look at things in a very fresh look. You take them as is. You see them face value. You don't impose on them. You know. You don't assume. You check things as they are. Okay. And now I want to bring the same perspective into the shadow. Okay. Now look at that. Today, what I want us to go forward is into the shadow work. Okay, I want us to go a little bit deeper into the shadow and me and the shadow work 101. Okay, and we're going to dive a little deeper. And as you can see on this slide, okay, you can see the work of the light and the shade. And actually, we're talking about a dialogue here. Okay. Now, what I would like to talk here, and I would like to have your assistance here with me, your cooperation, is a little about politics, okay? And I wanted to ask you, why do you think the shadow got its reputation, or a negative reputation? You know, because whenever somebody is creating a certain reputation, there is a politics behind it. Okay, Josette is talking about hidden and cover up. Cover up and hidden of what, Josette? Okay, and Petra say it's pain, fear of pain, use for control. And now that we're talking a little about the word politics, one of the things that jump into my head is that one of the reasons that I'm talking in an interactive way is that monologue, like the usual media, like when you watch television is a monologue, okay? You cannot respond to them. You cannot talk back to them. You cannot communicate with them. They're talking to you, telling you what to do, what to buy, what to think, and what to believe, right? So it's a monologue that somebody opposes on you, okay? I believe that one of the reasons that I'm a good psychic is because I'm a dialogue. I'm talking and they talk back, and I'm talking and they talk back, you know? It's not some kind of a television that somebody is talking to me and I'm just listening and obeying, okay? And it's not something that I am just talking and somebody else is listening and obeying. For me, the interaction is really important. Okay, that's where the expansion comes from. Okay. Okay, so that is adding hiding from the public. Andrea is talking about the shade when it comes, it's a protected area. Okay. When I'm talking about politics, okay, when there is a politics, there's a certain agenda. And where there's a certain agenda, it means that somebody is winning and somebody is losing, okay? And if we think about ourselves as as being in the middle of politics. Okay, if somebody is telling me that something is bad, okay, bad for me, I'm going to start looking where what is this person actually trying to manipulate me into believing. Okay, so, and why do I do that? Because if somebody comes with a statement, okay, it means that there was some kind of a process behind it. So me, I'm going to reverse engineer the process. Okay, it's not something that I'm just looking face value. It's not a phenomenon that I'm just buying into. Okay, when somebody is coming and telling me something which has a certain agenda behind it, I'm going to look into it. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about something that some people are aware of and something some people are not aware of. Okay, and I call it the woo-woo aspect. Okay, and what it means is that we are energy beings. Okay, we made out of light. Okay, and we are processing light to different frequencies. Okay, so we can process light into different frequencies. Okay, why? Because we're frequency for our processors. Okay, so if someone is going to feed up with a certain belief, that belief is going to generate in our space. Okay, and it's going to be processed into a certain vibration. Okay, so if somebody is going to feed us with the belief, okay, that something is working against us and this is around us 24/7, we're going to emanate, we are going to emit, okay, that vibration on a constant basis. Okay, so if someone is going to tell us that actually the shadow is something that we're supposed to be afraid of, or something that go against us, and we actually are in a constant fight against it, okay, what we're going to do, we are going to emit that vibration out of us. Okay, and if you think about it, just think about it, how natural it is. Okay, that everything in our vicinity is feeding something. Okay, we are fed, okay, by our physical environment. We are fed by air, by water, by uh, you know, killing animals, okay, and killing plants, okay, and that's how we are surviving. Okay, we're surviving by consuming physical vibrations. Okay, physical frequencies in different levels. Okay, the same thing that we are fed by those frequencies. Okay, others are fed, okay, by our frequencies. Okay, we are part of a food chain. Okay, when it comes even to energy. So I know that that sounds a little overwhelming. Okay, but that's completely true. Okay, there's a lot that are fed by the fear frequencies, okay, that we're emitting. Okay, and if you think about it, just think that I'm crazy, completely crazy. Okay, you can just think about the rituals of sacrificing people, humans, animals. Okay, the use of blood. Okay, so you understand that actually there was a very big consumption, okay, for this energy that we're talking about right now, which is the energy of emitting kind of fear, intimidation. Okay. Okay. So I don't care that much who is being fed by this vibration. Okay. To my perspective, as long as it doesn't serve me, okay, I don't want to be there, and I don't want to emit this vibration. Okay. Now we have another few questions. Okay. I wanted to reflect here for a minute. Okay. Why is it a shadow? Okay. Why is it working behind the scenes? Okay. And what does it mean to work behind the scenes? Okay. Now, my question here It's not to go back to where we started with, okay? My question is to take it forward, okay? Why it is a shadow? Why is it something that is hidden, okay? What's the use of it? It's a kind of a tricky question, I know. But if you think about the purpose of it, that we are going to get there really soon, if you think about the purpose of it, it's going to be very, very clear. So that is saying hidden agenda. That's wonderful, actually. Petra, any ideas? Provide that relief we need. Awesome. Let's go back to my questions. I'm talking about your personal shadow, Petra. And I wanted to answer or to ponder about the idea of what does it mean to work behind the scenes? It's really important to understand that. It's important for our discussion here to understand what does it mean to work behind the scenes, and why is it working behind the scenes? Okay, by the time that you're thinking, I'm going to tell viewers that we're working on an internet connection, and sometimes it failed, and sometimes our participants are dropping off and jumping in. That's part of the game here. Okay, so Petra is running into the high philosophy, and he said it's an automatic equilibrium. Awesome. Oh, and Joseph is talking about to protect others or self. Awesome, you're getting there. Beautiful. And Petra is saying beliefs work in front, shadow help heal. Nice. Now this is my next question. What's it's hidden? What's hidden? And I was choosing that slide in a purpose, okay, because it's a slide of a monk doing a meditation, okay. And what I mean that there's, you know, behind the spiritual facade or behind the work, you know, the work we are doing, there's something that is hidden. And here it is. Here it is. This is our shadow. Your defense mechanism at your service, okay? So your shadow is your defense mechanism. Now, if you think about it for a second, okay? Think about the tactics, you know, the tactics around defending. Okay, think about politicians. Okay, don't all of them have got bodyguards? Okay, where do you see them? Isn't that true that all of those bodyguards have weapons? Isn't it true that all those bodyguards are lethal? Okay, isn't it right that all those bodyguards actually are trained to kill in order to protect? Okay, You know, think about commando fighters. Think about warriors. Think about those people. Are they going to show out, okay, their armors? Are they going to show their weapons? Are they going to go in the forefront? Okay? Think about it. If they're going to go in the forefront, what they do, they declare war. At the moment they declare war, okay, they're not really protecting anyone. They're too busy. Okay? The only time they can actually protect you is once they're hitting, okay, watching your back or going around and behave in a way that nobody actually suspects them. Okay? And you think about all those bodyguards, okay, the last thing on earth they want to do is to be seen. They have those suits, okay, they look really beautiful. I was walking in New York, they're really hot. You know? It's a very conceiving kind of art. Okay? Warriors, in most cases, okay, don't want to be discovered because this is part of their tactics. Okay? Yeah, Carol says still, and Muhammad say faceless man. Okay, and Petra is having a great time here. Okay, so if you think about our shadow, okay, and when does our shadow actually come into action? How many times, if you think about shadow as our guardian, okay, as our shiny armor knight, okay? And look at this guy. Isn't he look charming? Isn't he look friendly? Isn't he look lovable? Yeah? What I say is that our shadow is a knight in a shining armor. Thank you. That's the shadow. That's our shadow. Okay? And our shadow, okay, our shadow is actually trained really, really, really hard with all kind of masteries and arts, okay, to do the work for us, to keep people away from us. Okay? And if we think if we think about all those negative emotions that many times we actually emit of ourselves, okay, why do we do this? Okay, even Abraham I say it's better to be vindictive, okay, than to be depressed. It's better you to think about revenge, okay? And what is to think about revenge? Is to whisper into your shadow, okay? Is to communicate with your knight. Hey, go get him. Okay, so those feelings, okay, those feelings that we are trying very hard to conceal, okay, the feeling of anger and frustration and and how to say, feeling annoyed, feeling bothered, okay, all those feelings are part of our protection system. They are protecting us from being run over. Because if we don't have them or we gave up them, okay, we gave them up, we actually being run over. And then we're going to win. That's it. Okay? So just think about it, okay? When somebody is starting shouting and behaving crazy, and they have this kind of crazy behavior, what they do, they're actually telling you, listen, I have this knight, okay, and he's really, 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 really big and very, very strong, okay, And if you're not going to be careful, he's going to snap at you. Okay? So you really, really, really want to behave yourself around me. Okay? So it's some kind of a control that we are controlling our experience through controlling our environment. Okay? And sometimes when I'm working with people, I said, just imagine, okay, that your defense mechanism is a big watchdog, is a big Rottweiler. You don't want this Rottweiler, okay, to bite on the good people or just to grouge on the good situation and just scare everybody and everything off you, okay? You want to be in a good relationship with your dog, okay, enough that your dog is going to look at you and say, before I'm growling, before I show my teeth. Okay? So I believe that if you have a much better relationship with your shadow, you have a much relationship with your night, you understand their position, you're in a good friendly relationship with your Rottweilers, okay? Your life experience is going to be much friendlier, much peaceful, much in harmony. If you understand if you have a better understanding of those parts of your own self, of those parts of your experience, okay, you're going to have a much smoother ride in the overall experience of your life. To my perspective, this is an overall experience, okay, of heaven and earth, of us as humans being ready to experience who we really are. It's also part of the non-physical politics of cooperating with us into our experience here. And right now we are more ready, okay, to live in harmony with all aspects of creation. Okay, we are more ready to release judgment and to be more innocent, okay, towards life itself. And I believe that we right now don't have to live under the illusion that something is threatening us or about to harm us. Because once we live under that impression, we actually shrink ourselves. We actually vibrate those frequencies that actually doesn't serve us and doesn't serve our growth. Okay, it doesn't serve the positive expansion. Now this is really important. I wanted to count 5 aspects in your life that your night is protecting. And how do you experience this type of protection? Okay? It's really important. And that's what happened when I go to the kitchen. That's where my angel comes with more and more interesting questions for you. Okay, so 5 aspects in your life that your night is protecting. Okay? So once you defined it, okay, how do you experience this type of protection? Josette said that she feels a very strong towards the social media and the web in general. That's kind of interesting. It's a new type of fear. It's a new type of protection, a new type of knights. Oh, okay. Carol say that that things that she was intimidated by didn't happen, and she has a good health and happiness despite the impending threats, and her shadow protect her from a reality I won't accept. That's interesting. That would say something, another thing very interesting, you know, being it a man, it's really interesting to think about it. That Patrick said that his shadow actually is protecting him against embarrassing himself in public by getting emotional. Man has a defense mechanism against being emotional in public. That's why we're only one having tears in the movies. And if you think about it, it's like yesterday I was sending a message to one of my clients, and he said I got into tears, and I said to myself, my goodness, tears are like hair, okay, okay. It's for both genders, okay. Men and women has eyes, and if you have eyes, you have tears. It's impossible that just women are going to have tears. Tears are another defense mechanism, and even more. Tears are a reflection of alignment. So what? Only women have this? Okay, we made a progress here. Oh, does that say that because she's an introvert, she feels very much protected by the screen? Gisette, you're doing a wonderful job here. Okay, and Petra saying meeting possible bad people. I avoid contact. Interesting. Mohammed is saying not showing any signs of my innermost feelings, being able to adjust myself to any kind of situations. Sign. My goodness. So Mohammed, you're a poker face. Think about it. Poker face is a defense mechanism. Poker face is another one of our defense mechanism. We know that very well, and comes from, you know. Oh. Okay, and Pedro is going deeper. He said that superficial and Joker protection from my inner pain. Okay, so what Pedro is saying that his shadow actually is behaving as a Joker. Okay, to conceal pain. And Josette talk about emotions, means tears, and Pedro emotionals, and equal trembling and inability to concentrate in my case. I see. Okay, and Muhammad is saying flexible. Intentions are never bad. I'd like to make the other person feel that I'm in rapport, with them. I have different colors like the rainbow. You can be like a rainbow, you can be like a chameleon. This is my shadow self, defense mechanism trying to justify. Okay. And Pedro is going another step in, and he say quick temper, quick escape in case I don't want to, to do something. Okay, so what we see that actually each and every one of us has a very nice and strong defense mechanism. I can tell you that about myself. I was building a very strong defense mechanism. You know, every time my mother was asking me to do something, you know, in my family when I grew up, it was impossible to say I don't want to. I was not allowed to say that I don't want to. And my mother constantly showered and bombarded me with things that I didn't want to do. I just couldn't stand all the things that she wanted me to do. So what did I say? And I really meant it. I said later. I said later. She said, Rovital, go and do the dishes. You know, I was the family dishwasher. Okay, now I fell in love with it. Okay? So I said, okay, later. Waiting for the dishes to do themselves. Yeah, and Petra said procrastinator and it's best. Yeah, I became a huge procrastinator because, you know, when I didn't have the permission to say I don't want to. I didn't have the permission to say just go away. No, not interested. I have something better to do. Leave me alone. Okay? Something that my daughter did since she was 2 years old. Okay? First time I was making a conversation with her on the phone, she went to visit my mom. She was like 3 hours driving away from me, and I was calling her on the phone, and my mother said, hey, do you want to talk to your daughter? I said, yeah. And I was so excited. And I was talking to her, and I said, hey, how are you? And she said, I'm good. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm watching television. And then I said, how do you enjoy your time? I was so excited. She's talking to me on the phone, you know? And she said, Mom, I'm watching television and you're disturbing me now. You see, since she was 2 years old, I realized who I'm dealing with, you see. I got the version of somebody who has all the permission on the planet to say, not interested, just take it away from me. Just leave me alone. Okay? And when I looked at it, I said to myself, I was creating a very secure environment for my daughter because she was able to communicate in the open with me and tell me, Mom, you're disturbing me now, okay? Find a different time to communicate. Yeah. And Barry's saying, you know, and he said that's her own choice as opposed to her mom making the decision. And Muhammad said, yeah, we all know that you love making sandwiches in the kitchen. It's funny. It is funny because I was thinking about it that actually I do like washing the dishes. Okay? But I just didn't like to be pushed into mountains of dishes, you know. It's like I felt like a dishwasher in a restaurant, you know, when the machine is broken. You know? So I definitely got myself a very huge defense mechanism. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, you are invited to share them with me now. And Josette is sharing we are conditioned to what society wants from us instead of living for ourselves. I guess this is part of our civilization being growing. You see, most of us came from the place that we cannot survive ourselves. We had to live in families and tribes, and we had to gather together. You see, if you think about the human beings comparing with animals, okay, we are very frail. We have a very delicate skin. We have to have clothes. We don't have fur. We have very thin skin. We are very frail animals comparing with other animals over there. We don't have those teeth, so we can, we don't have that much of protections in our body, okay? Look, nails, most people here go with fake nails. They're not going to attack you with those nails because they're going to break them, okay? So how we are going to defend ourselves, okay? So if we think about it, we had to work in groups, okay? We have to gather together in tribes in order to protect ourselves. And this is, to my opinion, when when the idea that we have to be there for one another, because it was fortifying us. It was making us stronger. You see, it helped us to be more, okay. We were very much on a protection mode, as because we were in protection mode, we were supposed to gather together for our survival, okay. Now we want to gather together for our expansion. Now we want to come together for becoming more and having more and creating more. I don't think that we are going to look less for each other or about each other. I think we're just going to do it in a different perspective. We're going to do it from different angles, okay? Okay, Karen said, hence the true definition of politics, working together to survive. Yeah. Okay. Muhammad is making a comment about Josette. He said, ironically, Josette herself likes the dishes and serving her family, so nothing to worry there. Yeah, if you didn't know, we're having lots of fun here before and after the podcast. And Petra say, what to do with the knights that are doing their job when it's no longer needed? Like carrying the Gatmon's attention as an adult, it's no longer viable. You see, it's an amazing question. It's really good one because it's in the core of our present life in the moment. You see, and I was hearing so many lectures about the structure of the brain and the and the three levels of the brain and everything, and we actually have the reptilian brain, okay, that is actually the aggressor one, okay. It's like the fight or flight, okay, that many have been talking about, all those research in the past 25 years, okay. And we have three layers in our brain that actually, three types of brain that we actually evolved into, okay. So actually, this defense mechanism is our reptilian brain, okay, so to say, okay. It's so it's something that they consider as something which is so basic in our experience and in our structure that we don't have much to do with it, okay? And actually it doesn't adopt itself into the present life. Okay, the present life doesn't provide us with so many threats, okay, as we used to have in the beginning of our current civilization, okay, here on Earth. Okay, so actually, uh, we have we have those mechanisms, okay, that actually protect us and against hazards that doesn't exist. Okay, to my perspective, once we understand that, there's much of it which is disappearing only by the understanding of it. Okay, because once we are actually giving opening the door to the shadow, okay, to the shadow to step out, okay, it's no longer going to be a shadow. It's going to be a light being. Okay, and it's not because we're shedding light on the shadow and kill it, okay, by light. No, don't do this. Okay, don't do this. Open the door, be nice, and just let the shadow walk out into the light. Just let your shadow the chance to become a light being and to meet you where you want it to meet you. Okay, give your shadow the chance to make a progress if we think that the light is a progress. Okay? Yeah, and Josette is giving a very nice she said it's a permission to belong with you. Okay, I believe that if we become to a better awareness of that idea that the shadow is actually part of our defense mechanism, and sometimes it's working on automatic mode, okay, and actually feed its own self, because that's how they work. They're feeding their own self, okay, and if we understand that and we start building up the awareness to it, okay, and actually understand that we are protected. We're protected by our core, by our essential um, experience. Okay, we don't have to use those mechanisms that much. So I believe we actually it does the work for us. Only the understanding of it. Okay, and another thing is, and if we keep the vibration high all the time, okay, and we bring it higher and higher and higher and higher, those things, okay, that used to show in our experience, okay, that as if we need to defend against, are not going to be there anymore. Okay, they're just going to disappear by themselves. Why? Because as we're rising our frequencies higher and higher and higher and higher, we become more of a faster light being. Okay? And if you think about it, what's happening is that, and this is really interesting, you want to listen to this, okay? Because your frequency is becoming higher, okay, you're becoming more transparent. Okay, as you become more transparent, if you think about the shed going through a glass, okay, as you become more transparent, there's much less shade over there. The shade is not that thick. It's not that solid, okay? A glass, a clean glass, okay, is not going to have that much of a shade, okay, like a dirty glass or a sealed glass. Okay, so as more as we raise our frequency and become more of a spinning, faster light beings, okay, we're going to have less and less and less of a shadow. Why? That's the law. That's physics. Okay? Correct. And Carol, I really thank you for that. You know, I'm very proud of you. Extremely proud. Okay? Now we learned that our vibrations, okay, with source are enough to make the changes we need to survive. Yeah, and said Petra said, understood, and Carol, thank you. Yeah. And I believe that in order for us, okay, to spin faster, in order for us, okay, to go into higher frequencies, okay, we have to build up that awareness, okay. I don't believe in blind following. Okay, I believe with some kind of understanding of principles and how things are working. Okay, I do believe very strongly that we supposed to enhance our awareness. Okay, as part of our growth, and not only follow blindly after all kind of memes and of others and teachers and preachers and gurus. Okay, I don't believe in just do it. Okay, I believe that we can definitely, if we are using our awareness, we can make a much faster progress. Much faster progress. I believe that the understanding that the shadow actually is just a defense mechanism that we have, and it's not anything against you, I think it's going to be wonderful. When I was studying my psychic school and they said, okay, now we are going to work with the shadow, I was like, hello, just leave me alone. Okay? I felt like the shadow of everybody else is just jumping all over the place to find me and hunt me down. I said, no, I don't want to be part of it. And one of the things that I didn't want to be part of it is because they were keeping the shadow to 6 years later. 6 years! I'm saying to myself, my goodness, I was working 6 years and I didn't touch my shadow? That's ridiculous. I was working 6 years and I have all that hidden in the closet. Okay? It didn't make sense to me at all. And I think that the reason it didn't make sense to me at all because it was like we were working on it under a certain type of politics. We didn't really work on it under a relaxed, okay, innocent view on it. Okay, the shadow was not part of our day-to-day dialogue. It was something that we were like keeping away. Okay, now it's very much it's very typical to the light workers. Okay, that there's so much around the light. They're not going to say anything. They're going to anything which sounds like it's not light over there. Only light. I don't like this bias. Again, I believe that this bias is just creating things that are abnormal, artificial. Okay. So that to say, so the higher vibration, the more secure we become and don't have to worry about falling back. So it's a decision, definitely. I'm very happy that I'm clear, very happy. Okay, Carol said yes, like the mirror class, right. Vital gave in the 30-day, if you don't like what you see in the mirror, change yourself. Yeah. Yeah, Carol had a very interesting homework. she had to make up herself in the mirror. It was kind of interesting things. Yes. Yeah, she said eye-opening. If you want to comment about the session of today, if you want to share how you have been benefited by this session, or what kind of ideas did you get from today? If you want to share some of your conclusions with us, Josette is laughing a lot. Yeah. There is, to my perspective, there is a huge emotional relief once we are able to address the shadow in a friendly way. We are able to address the shadow in a way that actually doesn't create any kind of uh, of threat, you know? Yeah. If we are able to address the shadow with no resistance, as Muhammad is saying. Josette got herself a new partner. She said, "I have a partner now, and not my enemy pulling me." Yeah, just think about it. Think about how many problems you can actually kick out of your space only by doing this. Okay. Muhammad say, "Good partner you got there," and Petra say, "I love it." Okay, and I want to thank you all for being here. For me, it's really enough to have one person here because I don't like to monologue. I would like to dialogue. Okay, and it's a great experience for you and for us and for me. Okay, because as more as we have here, is the interaction is bigger and we have more choices and actually. You can Carol said never alone. Okay, you can interact with each other and actually validate the feeling that you have. Validation is very important phase of our growth. Okay, and I can tell you that I'm paying high dollars to mentors just to validate what I already do. Sometimes it sounds really frustrating to me. I said, what am I telling doing this? But it's a great way to validate that something that you already know sometimes from somebody with a that you keep as a higher authority or somebody that have been down the road. So it's really important to have validation. Once we work in a group, that's what we do. We validate. Okay. When I was studying in my psychic schools, we never had less than I don't know how many, 20 people in a class, okay, no more than 30 because that's too much, okay, but we had to have 20 to 30 people all the time because it's a very delicate reality, okay, the non-physical, okay, and if you don't validate it with a group of people that actually say, yes, I saw the same thing, I had the same experience, I had a parallel experience with you, I can resonate to what you say, I can complement what you're telling me, I can complement your experience somehow with my experience, okay, then it's not going to anchor in your space. It's not going to seed and root it in your space and actually grow. You're going to dismiss it. Oh, Josette say, wouldn't miss a session. Always looking forward to the next. Much better than school. Maybe this is the class of the future. My dream. Yeah, I believe that in the future we're going to have more of an individual growth. I believe so, yes, and it's going towards it. Yeah, it's going towards it. More and more forking. Yeah. Okay. So I really would like to thank you all for being here. I would like to thank everybody who took the time and enjoy watching this video, okay, with us. And I would just want to remind you that we have free sessions Tuesday and Thursday or Friday, okay, at 3:33 and 9 on Tuesday, and it built up on Tuesday to serve the people from the west part, and Tuesday to serve people from the east part, okay, of the planet, of course. And you all have to have Google, and you have to have internet, and if you see people dropping from time to time, it's because their internet connection. Okay, and sometimes it's their alignment that is dropping. So if you don't have alignment, nothing is going to work, no internet or electricity, and definitely not your technical skill, which is fine, which is completely fine. Okay, so here again, I'm just giving you the chance to find us. here we asked if you want to have more. Okay, you can join our live workshop group on Facebook and Google Plus community. It's Abraham Hicks, How to Change Your Life in 30 Days. Now we have another group, which is Abraham 101 to 2.0. And this is a great group that actually we are working with Abraham and not only about Abraham. Oh, and Carol is cute. She said, happy birthday again for Petru. And until we meet again, buongiorno, buonanotte, and ciao. Yes, okay. And Petru, thanks. Good night. And Carol is smiling. And thank you all for being here with us. Okay. It has been my pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Okay. So until next time, thank you all very much for being here with us. Okay, if you have any questions, comments, you can leave them under the video. If you have anything that you want to say, share, ask, feel free. Okay?